Okay, everyone. Many thanks for your patience just now. I see that we have quite a few people with us, so in the interest of time, we can get started, and people who joined a bit late, I think, will be able to grasp what's going on. So, good morning and welcome to this live webinar, CEF eInvoicing, What's in it for you? And many thanks to everyone who has joined us this morning. Today we're going to basically look at the CEF eInvoicing building block, the services provided, and the coming European standard and the directive 2014/55, affectionately known today as the directive. So if we have a quick look at today's agenda. My name is Tom Phillis, and I'm going to give a welcome and introduction to CEF. And then we have our resident eInvoicing experts, Christian and Martin, who will look at the CEF eInvoicing building block and the directive and standard in a bit more detail. And this webinar will basically set the scene for a series of webinars we're hosting over the next couple of months, which are going to sort of deep dive and explore into the various aspects of CEF eInvoicing. So as just said, we have a short introduction, an exploration of the CEF building block and the standard. We'll then have a Q&A right at the end of the session and a brief closing. So getting started, the highlights of this webinar are you can ask questions using the chat function located on the right of your screen, not the left as we indicated because we've changed systems. We ask you to keep your microphones muted, and this is just to avoid any feedback and make sure that everyone can hear the presentations and speakers. And you can download the presentation directly via the software. We will also circulate it by email at the end. After the webinar, you'll be able to download the recording. We'll have the whole recording, but we will also sort of chop it up into the various sections and post it on the CEF digital website. So in the future, you'll be able to look at sort of specific sessions, and this will be the case for the later, more specialized webinars. And finally, you will be invited to come to the CEF eInvoicing user community on the website, which is our online community discussing various aspects of the directive, coming standard, and CEF building block. So the key objectives of this webinar are to raise awareness of CEF eInvoicing and the services and support available, such as the workshops and trainings, which are provided free of charge. We only ask member states to organize logistics, etc., but we'll go into that in more detail. And to introduce some of the topics, namely the building block, its background, and the directive, which, as said, we will deep dive into. In terms of who this audience is aimed at, it's basically aimed at public authorities, private entities, policymakers, standardization bodies, and eInvoicing implementers, namely software and solution providers, etc. Just using the chat function, is there anyone who has joined us who is not part of one of these organizations or would not consider themselves included in this list? Just to be sure that we're always aiming our webinars at the right audience. Yeah, I think everyone's still a bit of a morning fatigue, but I think I mean this is the key audience in any case.